first days in Krishna consciousness. This goes back to March 30th, 1969. Prabhupada wrote Maharaj a letter. He said, "My next scheme is to develop the new Vrindavan scheme or farm, and I require there millions of dollars. Immediately, I have got about $25,000 worth of books or more. If you think of how to organize sales, then we can promote more and more books, and with the profit thereof, we can spend in so many departments." The people of the Western country, they are fond of reading books, and by propaganda work, we have to change their taste and divert them from reading all worldly literatures to transcendental literature. Please think of this carefully and let me know if you can help. You write to say that these days the educated class of people have rejected devotional service, and it is their misfortune. This means they are not being educated, rather they are being degraded. According to the verdict of Srimad Bhagavatam, if one is not a devotee, then he has no good qualifications. And if one is simply devotee, it is to be supposed that he has got all the good qualifications. For the present, you do not try to have a small temple in your house, because I know that you are not strictly vegetarian. I do not know whether now you are also strictly vegetarian, but unless you become so, don't try to have a small temple in your house as proposed by you. The four principles which we ask our students to follow, namely restraining illicit sex life, etc., must be the basic principles of spiritual life. Then Srila Prabhupada, when I was reading this letter to Gopal Krishna Maharaja back in 1969, there's a letter right next to it that caught my eye. So I'm going to read this also, although it was not addressed to Maharaj, but I thought the subject was really nice. And then I'll come back to Maharaj's letters from Prabhupada. Prabhupada writes to a lady named Satyabhama, "The basic principle of our life in Vrindavan will be cow keeping. If we can keep cows sufficiently and grow our necessary foodstuffs, then we shall show a new way of life to your countrymen," meaning the Americans. "Completely spiritual life in healthy atmosphere and divine consciousness. And you will have ample opportunity to educate children and write books for them, because there is sufficient matter for publishing such books from the Puranas, Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavatam, and many other allied literatures. There are thousands of ideal historical events which, if we can put with suitable pictures, it will be a great idea, and people will like to have such literature. I have got many ideas for developing the new Vrindavan scheme, and if Krishna gives me opportunity, I may be able to show something very wonderful in your country. Unfortunately, I have no money. Neither the richer section of your countrymen have taken any serious view of our movement. Otherwise, there is more than sufficient money, and if one or two men of your country gives a little attention, with this we can develop many new Vrindavans. We are not very much expensive. Simply if we get the necessary money, we can play wonderful. Our only hope is books and literature. So we have to start to press, and for that purpose, and publish varieties of books and literature for getting some financial help as well as propagating our mission. So as soon as I come to your place, I shall give you all nice ideas you have asked for in your letter under reply. And I thank you very much for giving me all these ideas for our future activities." Okay, so I thought I would read that because you can see how much Prabhupada was emphasizing book distribution and protection of cows and growing our own food and showing how one can live a happy, simple, spiritual life, grow their own food, protect cows, and distribute Prabhupada's books. Okay, so the next letter to Gopal Krishna Maharaja I thought was interesting is 5th of June, 1969. Prabhupada writes to him, I guess Maharaj was initiated on May 29th, 1969. Prabhupada says, I have already sent your beads duly chanted upon, and I hope you will be happy in Krishna consciousness always. As you are a very nice, good soul, Krishna will certainly bless you with all benedictions. It doesn't matter. Okay, quiet, please. It doesn't matter whether or not you remain in this part of the world or in India. Wherever you remain, you chant Hare Krishna regularly, and your example may be followed by others. The world needs this benefit. And when you return to India, there are so many ways you can convince your parents that to take to Krishna consciousness does not mean one has to give up his worldly affairs. I know in India there are many foolish persons who think that by reading Bhagavad Gita, one is apt to renounce this world. This is completely foolishness. Arjuna was a family man, a soldier, and he was directly taught the principles of Bhagavad Gita, but he never renounced the world nor the battlefield. I do not know why there are certain crazy men who think like that if a man becomes a devotee, he will have no more interest in worldly affairs. We are not Mayavadi. We do not state that the world is false. We say that if Krishna is truth, the world is also truth, because the world is a manifestation of Krishna's energy. So if Krishna is true, how his energy can be false? The Mayavadis preach so-called monism, but they always distinguish Brahma and Maya. They say Brahma is true, Maya is false. We say Maya is true, and because it is Krishna's energy, she must be employed in Krishna's service. That is our philosophy. So far your parents are concerned. I have received another letter from a friend of your parents whose name is Bartendu Vimal. It almost sounds like bartender Vimal. Anyway, Bartendu Vimal. I am enclosing this letter for you to read. Your father has induced him to ask me not to initiate you. This gentleman came to see me in San Francisco. He might be some congressman, and at the expense of the government, he was making some so-called cultural tour. The government is interested to send anyone for dancing or recitation of poetry, but when the government is requested for giving some facilities for preaching Krishna consciousness, they will not encourage. On the other hand, they encourage publications in which Krishna is depicted as black and lowborn. This is the position of our government. I am glad that your parents are interested in Bhagavad Gita and Lord Krishna. And when you return to India, you make them understand Krishna philosophy very nicely. I am also pleased to learn that when you marry, you will marry a girl who is a worshipper of Lord Krishna and who agrees to follow the 4 basic principles strictly. I am so pleased to learn that you have appreciated our Artik song, Kiba Jaya Jaya Gora Chandra. You have voluntarily offered to do something when you return to India, and the best project will be to work there as representative of this Krishna conscious movement. In my opinion, India is going down by giving up this original cultural life, which is its own. The government is enamored by the glittering civilization of the West, and it was a definite policy of our late Prime Minister, Mr. Nehru, who wanted to see India overnight as rich and materially advanced as America. It was, of course, Gandhi's policy to concentrate his organization in village life, taking to simple life and cow protection. But just after Mahatma Gandhi's disappearance, his chief disciple, Pandit Nehru, planned for up-to-date organized cow slaughterhouse. So this is our position. If you have understood Krishna consciousness science, then you will try to revive this cultural life in India. Of course, so long I shall live, I shall give you all assistance. But if you concentrate your energy in a city like Bombay for propagating Krishna consciousness amongst the younger generation, as I am doing here in the Western world, it will be great service to Krishna and to your country. I have already asked you to think on the project, how you can push on our books and literature. I cannot suggest any other alternatives, but if you can execute this will of mine, I shall remain ever obliged to you. You are welcome to write to me as often as possible, and it is my duty to give you right instructions. Try to follow them, and you will be happy. I hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So this is an instruction given to Gopal Krishna Maharaj in 1969, and he took it to heart. That is, concentrate on a city like Bombay for propagating Krishna consciousness amongst the younger generation, as I am doing here in the Western world. And also, he was asking in the previous letter that Gopal Krishna Maharaj help in distributing, printing and distributing his books. He said in March 16th, 1969, he said, to tell you frankly, one of the objects of my missionary activities is to bring to notice of the educated Indian public that devotional service originated from the Indian side in its pure form, propounded by educated public, and the leaders of Indian people specifically are deliberately violating all the principles of India's original spiritual culture in the name of secular state. When India was divided into Hindustan and Pakistan, there was good opportunity for the Hindu Indians to follow strictly the principles of Bhagavad Gita, and the state religion should have been declared Krishna consciousness. Mahatma Gandhi was a great advocate of Bhagavad Gita, and when he was alive, I requested him to preach, but I did not receive any favorable reply from him because he was too much politically contaminated. So anyway, taking consideration of India's present governmental policy in the matter of educated public opinion, I do not think that in India there is any immediate possibility of spreading Krishna consciousness very seriously. Under the circumstances, if you go to India, you have to make some propaganda against this attitude of the government and the public. Your desire for opening many temples is very laudable, but unless you prepare some temple worshippers, then the temples will remain vacant. So in this age, it is more important to create devotees than to construct temples. My Guru Maharaj advised me to give more stress on literary work, such as publishing books and magazines in Krishna consciousness. And temple opening is a secondary consideration. Jai Shri Shri Radha Nilamadhava Ki Jai. I am just trying to open some temples in the Western countries because there is none. So far India is concerned, still there are millions of temples, but gradually the number of temple worshippers is diminishing. Perhaps you know that recently, within 50 years, our capital, New Delhi, has developed tremendously, but the constructor of the New Delhi city has not erected even a single temple. So this is the tendency. Neither it is recommended in the scriptures to give more stress on temple building. The best thing is, in this age, to propagate this Sankirtan movement. So I shall be very glad to utilize your energy in this Krishna consciousness movement as you are willing to volunteer. May Krishna bless you with more Krishna consciousness activities, and you will feel a glorious life of Krishna's grace. I wish that all your good fortunes may be fulfilled without delay. Thanking you once more, your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. So this is a very beautiful letter. Here it makes it very clear. His Guru Maharaja Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur advised Prabhupada to give more stress to literary works such as publishing books. So Gopal Krishna Maharaj is a trustee of the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust under his expert organizational oversight. The BBT in India is the biggest publisher of Prabhupada's books in the world. They far outdo the other BBTs around the world. Jai Shri Radha Nilamadhava. So he took this to heart, this instruction that he learned even before he was initiated. And secondly, although once he had firmly established the BBT in Bombay, in India, then he started opening temples. So he's opened many, many temples in Bombay. I think there's like 6 or 8 major temples in Bombay. In Delhi, there's 12 temples that he's opened. He's opened temples in other major cities in India with the help of other devotees, Chandigarh, in Gujarat, Baroda, Ahmedabad, and in Lucknow, Haridwar, so many different places. He's opened temples. And, of course, in Africa, in Mombasa, and other cities in Kenya, and so forth. So he's taken both of these fundamental instructions from Prabhupada and expanded them tremendously. That's the sign of a sincere devotee who has dedicated his life completely to pleasing Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. And the other thing that he's done, the best thing is in this age to propagate the Sankirtan movement. So we should take this to heart. Prabhupada is not only giving this instruction to Gopal Krishna Maharaj, but to all the devotees, because this is the fundamental instruction Lord Chaitanya has given. How come when we have Sankirtan, very few devotees who are initiated come out? Have you ever come out on Sankirtan, Prabhu? How many times in the last 10 years?
5 times.
That's not enough. How about you, Prabhu? Huh?
I've been there a couple of times.
In how many years?
The last how many years we've been going out.
It's 30 years.
Yeah.
So a couple times in 30 years is not much, right? You're both disciples of Prabhupada, of Gopal Krishna Maharaj. He emphasizes this with his devotees, book distribution and Sankirtan. You should get serious about it. All of us should get serious about it. How about you, Rantidev Prabhu?
Not very often.
So you should make a vow today. You heard these instructions given to Gopal Krishna Maharaj. He's dedicated his life to this. He's your guru, right? So you have to follow your guru's example. All of us have to. You know, we should all make a vow that from now on we're going to try. I mean, we all have to work, and there's different things that we have to do. But this is called the Hare Krishna Sankirtan movement, right? It's not the stay-at-home movement. It's called the Sankirtan movement. We should all be dedicated at least once a week to come on Sankirtan, distribute books, chant ecstatically Hare Krishna, and preach, right? We don't preach staying at home. We preach by going out. Now, there's another important point here that Prabhupada makes to Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and this is in the early days of Krishna consciousness. He tells Gopal Krishna Maharaj, He says, the more you, this is in 16th of November 1969, he tells Gopal Krishna Maharaj, just like a wrestler, simply by practicing wrestling amongst friends, gradually becomes stronger, and the body is built up very nicely. Krishna consciousness is exactly like that. The more you serve Krishna, the more you get better strength to serve him. Please remember this valuable advice, and you will find it very convenient for your progressive march. Now, we should make a poster with this quote. Everyone should read this poster when they walk into the temple. Every time you come to the temple, you should read this poster. Just like a wrestler, Krishna is giving you gradually more and more strength to serve him. Just like a wrestler, simply by practicing wrestling amongst friends, gradually becomes stronger, and the body is built up very nicely. Krishna consciousness is exactly like that. The more you serve Krishna, the more you get better strength to serve him. Please remember this valuable advice, and you will find it very convenient for your progressive march. Even if our endeavor is not always successful, because it is done for Krishna, by nature, it becomes nice. We have nothing to do with material considerations. So, these are precious instructions given to Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and they're given to us. Here's another instruction Prabhupada gives him in 3rd September 1969. He says, I am so glad to read the portion of your letter where you say, I would have continued to live in ignorance and darkness, thinking I would have known how to approach God. At the present moment, Prabhupada writes, the modern education has taught everyone not to think of God, or everyone can think of God in his own way. The result is people have become godless atheists. So to approach a bona fide spiritual master and to understand the science of God from him is the Vedic way of understanding. Even Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya, and what to speak of other acharyas, all of them accepted a spiritual master, even if some of them were incarnations of God. The Vedic way of receiving knowledge is called avaroha, against aroha. Aroha means try to understand God by one's own effort, and avaroha means to understand God by disciplic succession. Therefore, we find in Vedic instruction that one must approach a bona fide spiritual master to learn that what is the transcendental subject. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya says, glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of material life, of repeated births and deaths. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Now the question is, why would anyone in this movement not be dedicated to coming out of Sankirtan, preaching the glories of Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, dancing in ecstasy, handing out Mahaprasadam, and distributing Prabhupada's books? When Lord Chaitanya says it is the life of all transcendental knowledge, in other words, unless you come out on Sankirtan, you will not be able to understand the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Because the philosophy is understood when we go on Sankirtan. Because there you're putting your life on the line, you're opening yourself up to meeting all kinds of different people and to be challenged by them, and you have a chance to be an instrument, a conduit of Lord Chaitanya's incredible mercy. This is the meaning of the Sankirtan movement. It's based on distributing the mercy of the Lord to all people. And people are thirsting for Krishna consciousness. Believe me. Yesterday I performed a marriage in Olympia. There was only one Indian there, and that was Srinivas Kasam, because I brought him with me. There are no Indians. They're all Americans, and all just regular redneck Americans, meat eaters, drinkers, philanderers, you know. And they listened very carefully to what I said. After I finished, one man came up to me. He said, after hearing what you said, I've made a promise to myself, I'm never going to eat meat again in my life. These were all meat eaters, all of them. And there was about at least 100 people there. Right? So we should be courageous and at least go out once a week on Sankirtan. Once a week is not asking too much. Starting in September, after our Rath Yatra, we're going to do regularly again every Saturday. We need your help. This is what Gopal Krishna Maharaja has dedicated himself to. It is Sankirtan Mahayagya. Here's another letter Prabhupada sent him in 26 November 1969. Regarding your marriage, that is my opinion, that if anyone can remain a brahmachari all the time without being disturbed by sex urge, or who can tolerate such urges, there is not any need for him to marry and take some extra responsibilities. But one who is disturbed in mind, he must get himself married. Therefore, it has to be decided by oneself if he should marry or not marry. Just like Shakespeare said, to be or not to be, that is the question. But then Prabhupada says, it is a fact, however, that if one is thoroughly engaged in Krishna's service, this sex urge does not have much disturbance. But if you have got to work outside with karmis and different types of people, under the circumstances, if you have a good wife to help you, that would be very nice. Another difficulty is that in modern civilization, everyone is independent-spirited. The girls are no longer very much humble and submissive to their husbands. So you must be prepared to tolerate such whims of your future wife. According to our Vedic civilization, disagreements between husband and wife is not taken very seriously. But the modern age allows divorce even, either by the husband or by the wife. These things are not good. But after marrying, certainly there will be some disagreements or misunderstanding between husband and wife. So consider all these points and you can decide yourself. But if you marry, I have no objection, as I have gotten married so many boys and girls and they are living very peacefully. So here Prabhupada is giving, like a real father, good advice to his son. Just like Prabhupada himself. At one time he was a little displeased with his wife, so he was thinking of getting a second wife. Of course, that was allowed. But then his father said, don't do it. And he listened to his father. He never did it. So Prabhupada is our father. He's giving fatherly advice to Gopal Krishna Maharaja. He's not saying don't get married. And he's not saying you must marry. He's just saying, here are the pros and cons. You make the decision. And that's exactly what Krishna does. He explains Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, and then he says, you must surrender unto me. No, he doesn't say that. He said, now you decide what you're going to do. Yatachasi tata kuru. Now it's up to you to decide. This is real Krishna consciousness. We never force anyone, but we explain what are the pros and cons so that they can make an enlightened decision themselves. Therefore, reading Prabhupada's instructions, and everywhere you can find Prabhupada's instructions in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and in his letters, in his lectures. Therefore, we should take very seriously reading of his books, especially reading in the company of devotees, and also trying to take to heart what's being said, and following it. And the last thing I'll read, Prabhupada says, regarding your correspondence with the leading men in India, I don't think it will be very much fruitful. Personally, I have no faith in them. But if you decide to open correspondence with them, I have no objection. But my personal opinion is not very hopeful. Not very hopeful. I thank you very much for your submissive mentality. And as it is stated in the Bible that God is for the humble and meek, similarly, Vaishnavas are taught by Lord Chaitanya to become humbler than the grass and more tolerant than the tree. Thus, one can seriously execute progress in Krishna consciousness. I hope this will meet you in good health, your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So here Prabhupada is referring to the Bible. In fact, it's in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse number 7, which says, those who seek the mercy of God will receive the mercy of God. And then it says in verse 8 that a person whose heart is cleansed of all sins and sinful desires will actually see God. Lord Chaitanya says, Trinadapi suni chena tararapi saistana manina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. In order to chant Hare Krishna continually, one should be more humble than a straw in the street, more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can continually chant Hare Krishna. And then, Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadishikamahe Mama Janmani Janmanisware Bhavatad Bhakti Rahaitukitwai. Oh my Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. So these two verses of the Siksastakam are fundamental. But the same thing is said in the Bible, that if a person purifies their heart of sinful desires and sinful actions, they will actually see God. Lord Chaitanya says in a little different way, but it means the same thing. I don't want any wealth. I don't want any sense gratification. I don't want be some big guru with a lot of followers, or be a father of 100 sons like Dhritarashtra. I only want the causeless devotional service to the Lord. Causeless means there is no personal motive for rendering the service. It's not that if I do good service, then my business will do better, or my son will pass the SAT test, or my mother's backache will go away. That's not Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not asking for anything material, only asking for service, and not even asking for liberation. Therefore, one whose heart is completely cleansed of all sins, as it says in Matthew 5:8, that person will actually see God. Well, Krishna says the same thing. He says, Tesam satayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhiyogam tam yena mam upayantite. One who always serves me with love and devotion, who always thinking of me, I give that person a knowledge by which they come to me. And then Krishna says, he says that he can only be approached by devotional service. Bhaktya tvananyaya sakya aham evam vidururjana gyatum drastum chatatvena pravestum cha parantapa. I can only be approached, or I can only be attained by pure devotional service. So, and then Arjuna, you'll be able to see me as I am standing in front of you now. In other words, if you engage in pure devotional service, Krishna will appear in front of your eyes exactly as he appeared in front of Arjuna on the chariot. That's an equivalent statement to Matthew 5:8. So we have this instruction coming from all sides, from Christianity and from the Vedic literature. Therefore, our only aspiration should be to have service. And Prabhupada, the only question he ever asked Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was, how can I serve you, Gurudev? Every time he would see him after he was initiated, or after he first met him, the few times he was with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he always asked him, what service can I render to you? In fact, the last letter he wrote to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, which was a couple weeks before Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur left his body, he said, Gurudev, I am a grihasta. You are surrounded by many great devotees, mostly sannyasis. What can this poor soul do for you? What can I do for you? And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati wrote him back. And he gave him the same instruction that he gave him the first time he met him. Preach in the Western world. Another time in Radha Kund, when Prabhupada was alone or walking with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his Gurudev told him, if you ever have any money, print books and distribute them. And Prabhupada took that instruction to heart. So we should always be asking, what service can I do? And if you get an opportunity, just like I was speaking to Gauranga Chandra's wife, right, today, and I said, we're very happy you're back. She said, yeah, we're very happy we're back. She said, in Pune, there's so many devotees. There's no service for us. Yeah, there's so many brahmacharis in Pune. They do all the service. You know. So, yeah. But here, she said, and for us to go to the temple in Pune, it takes so long to get there. There's so much traffic. Then we have to come back again. Here, we just walk to the temple virtually. And we can come anytime. Our kids are here. They can spend the whole day here doing service and associating with other kids and so many things to learn. And she said, it's a great blessing to be here. Well, it is. We have a temple. Many devotees live in the neighborhood. All the time there's something happening in the temple. It's a great blessing. And we should realize how blessed we are by Radha Nilamadhava and Srila Prabhupada and all the Vaishnavas, that we can have this temple. We can come any time of the day. There's prasadam, and there's something to do, and there's a lot of things to learn. In fact, another devotee told me yesterday, he said, well, this Ananda Mela is great. He said, because we wanted to have some pottery making, I was asked to get trained to make pottery. So I would have never learned this before. If I wasn't associated with the movement, I would have never learned how to make pottery. Now I know how to make pottery, and we're going to do it again for Flavors of India, Rath Yatra Festival. I said, this is great. So I'm learning so many things here, interesting things, you know. So this is the blessing that we have, but we should take advantage of it. You don't get any blessings like this working in a company, right? Do they give any blessings other than giving you some money? right? And if you slip up on your work, they'll throw you out, right? It's like a jungle. Big fish eats the little fish. But in the temple, there's mercy, there's service, there's knowledge, there's crafts, there's always something that we can engage ourselves with. And if there's nothing else, there's prasadam. And if there's not enough prasadam, then you can help cook. So it's a blessing to have a temple like this. It's a blessing to be able to live near it. It's a blessing just to come here and see the devotees together chanting Hare Krishna. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. The attendance of the Sunday feast, especially the Sunday feast begins at 5 o'clock. The only people here at 5 o'clock are Braja Hari Prabhu and his good wife, right? And then a few stragglers that come off the street. Why? There's a saying that if you plant enough trees in the desert, it'll start raining. If you have no trees in the desert, there's no reason to rain, right? So if you have enough devotees here at 5 o'clock, then you'll get a lot of people coming. But the people only come when there's live, enthusiastic kirtan. They don't even hardly come for the class, right? So devotees should make a vow just like Bhaja Hari Prabhu has made a vow, I think back in 76 or something. You would come every Sunday? 79, yeah. And more or less he's kept that vow all these years. He has to come here every Sunday, at least once a week, if not more, and have darshan with his good wife, and do arti to Srila Prabhupada and Tulsi arti. So why can't more people come early? Why does everyone come late? If you have a large group of devotees in the temple at 5 o'clock for Guru Puja and Tulsi Arti, you'll see a large number of people here at 5 o'clock every week, I guarantee you. First week, maybe not. Second week, a few more. Third week, a few more. By the time we get to the second or third month, the place will be packed. We should do an experiment. Let's see how it works. Right? There should be no excuse for being late. And when you have a large group of people chanting Hare Krishna, it attracts people. Krishna will send the people to be part of such a sangha. So there's a lot of ways we can improve the temple. The temple should not work on autopilot. It should work on personal, enthusiastic initiative. We should be, each one of us, individually and collectively, inspired with initiative to make things better and better in the temple. Just like Radhapati has taken it upon himself to organize cleanup of the temple. Was it once a month or twice a month? What is it? Every first Sunday a month. That's a personal initiative. No one had to tell him to do that. He felt in his heart, I should do this. So that type of personal initiative is extremely important. That means you're chanting 16 rounds and Krishna is communicating with you. If you don't feel such initiative, then that means there's some fault in the practice. Because if you do follow strictly the regulative principles, Krishna will keep giving you knowledge by which you come closer and closer to him. That's what he promises in 10th chapter, 11th verse. Tesam satati yuktanam, bhajatam pratipurvakam, tadami buddhi yogam tam. I give the knowledge by which my devotee comes to me. So here we see some of the precious instructions. There are many more. Prabhupada wrote a lot of letters to Gopal Krishna Maharaja. A lot of instructions that his spiritual father gave him, and that's why the letters books are there, because he's giving instructions to everyone, and that's why I'm sharing with you. It's not like only for Maharaj or only for a certain number of people. I was also lucky to get about 7 letters from Prabhupada. Every time there's some precious instruction in it. So we should take this to heart today, because we see how Gopal Krishna Maharaj took it to heart, and he's become a very great and prominent devotee that's helped thousands and thousands of people advance in Krishna consciousness. Every one of you has that potential. Every one of you has that potential, but you have to grab it. Just like Gopal Krishna Maharaj grabbed it. He changed that. He was educated, he graduated college, he had a great job in New York State, he had a great future in front of him, becoming some big corporate executive. But he decided to become a Prabhupada man, even though his family was against it. His family was very much against it. But he resisted that. He took the Krishna consciousness, and he's become a spiritual administrator, a spiritual, let's say, organizer of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement and Prabhupada's ISKCON movement. So every one of you can do that if you grab the initiative of service and always think, how can I make things better? How can I be better? First in my sadhana, and then how can I make things better in this temple? We should be anxious for service and for challenges. We should always be given a bigger challenge. That way you actually achieve bigger and bigger things in your life. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. All glories to Gopal Krishna Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Is anybody else going to speak? Anybody else?
Okay, now we start Maharaj glorification. So it's open for everyone. I just few names here. First one, Damodar Prasad Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Gopal Krishna Maharaja Ki Jai. I would just talk about how Maharaj is so compassionate, because when I was in the beginning stages here, I used to go meet all Maharajas. It so happened that I was in between jobs from Microsoft to something else. So I just met Maharaj casually, and he said, "Oh, you're in between jobs, you're a week to go to the next job, why don't you come with me?" So he was going to Vancouver. So I didn't even, I said, okay, I'll come. So immediately arranged accommodation in Vancouver with Anand Hari Prabhu's grandmother. We were there, and when I was there, every day, every time, whenever he meets me, those 7 days, he used to check on me. Are you comfortable here? Is everything taken care of? And he used to tell everybody whose house we go for visits, specifically he used to say, okay, take care of him. And he used to check on with Anantahari also. How is he doing, right? And I was asking him questions like how to make progress and how to select a guru and other thing. Maharaj said, don't rush, don't make a decision in a haste. But then again he paused, and at the same time, don't wait too long too, right? He said both ways. So I seen him in person, like he used to, whenever he used to come here, he says, I know you. Just he met me only in that Vancouver for 1 week. Every time he comes, he says, I know you. I remember you. Right? So, and this is what I see in Gopal Krishna Maharaj is very personal touch. He may have thousands of disciples, but he will maintain that personal touch if you know him. Right? So, that's a quality which I would encourage in each of us, independent of which Guru Maharaj we belong to, what we do, have that genuine quality, which is caring for others. You may not be able to really physically help, at least you can ask them, right? How are you, Prabhu? What are you doing? Right? Sometimes words are good enough. And if you can back up with actions, that's also good. So that's what comes to my mind. And thank you, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, for helping me in finding my path here. Hare Krishna.
Next is Om Tat Sat Prabhu.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. So today we are celebrating our Guru Maharaj Vyas Puja, and my Guru Maharaj, when he is landing here at Seattle, and I am just driving him from airport to temple and the house of Ranti Prabhu. So first question he always asked me, "You are chanting regularly?" I said, "Yes." "So you are doing services in the temple?" These are the two questions, he always asked me. And he asked everybody, So when first time my Guru Maharaj met, even not met, but he heard that he is coming to this town, and he went there, and he asked temple president, that what I can do, what service I can do for Prabhupada Maharaj. And president said, "Okay, you clean the room of Prabhupada Maharaj." So first service Guru Maharaj got to clean the service, clean the room of the Prabhupada Maharaj. He was so lucky, Really, he was very lucky, He got services of Prabhupada Maharaj, and he got association of Prabhupada Maharaj. And the day he met, after that he didn't leave, He always telling me, telling all the devotees that do the services. Services in the temple is very important. When you chant Hare Krishna, and he asks us, chant intentively. When you are not, serious, don't chant at that time. Always try to turn. When I was driving, I was chanting, he says, no, Om Tat Sat, don't chant, when you are driving. So he never allowed me. He told us so many things, and he says that you do seva in the temple, go in the temple, do seva, and make some prasadam over there. So I was doing, services, but due to some reason, due to health reasons, I stopped that, But still I am thinking that I will do again. So our Guru Maharaj, he write in the Vyas Puja book, that he says, if something happened to me, stay with the ISKCON. He always instructed us, stay with the ISKCON. So he is very, serious, always. And he is carrying, the whole deities in his bag, And on the airports, international airport, when he travels, he's always carrying. And so many times he has got problems, that what is this? What you are doing this? And one thing I want to tell you, in these days, sannyasis don't carry their danda. But Guru Maharaj always carrying, You never see him, When he landed there is. And most of the sannyasis, they leave that, Anyhow. But he never. He is so sincere, And once time he told me that, Om Tat Sat Prabhu, when I start making temple at Delhi, virtually I don't have any money. But he has so many sincere devotees, those who helped his to build that temple, and himself, struggled a lot to build that temple. And today you can see, some of you is one of the best temples, in the world, And one of his devotees, of Kurukshetra, Sakshi Gopal Prabhu. And he is doing Rath Yatra, more than anybody in the world. And this is his record, and this has been written in Mayapur temple, If you go someone Mayapur temple, you will see. There's a plate, for Sakshi Gopal Prabhu. He has got so many sincere devotees, So, he always instructing us, to chant regularly, this, and read the Bhagavad Gita and read the other Vedas, If you always busy in doing sevas and chanting and studying Vedas, then you will be very near to Lord Krishna. I have seen, sometime when I read the Bhagavad Gita at home and I read the other books, then it give me another strength, to chant the holy name. So these are the experience of, most devotees, I have seen here, they are chanting regularly. And this is to our Shiksha Guru, Hari Vilas Prabhu, Due to Hari Vilas Prabhu, we are here and we made this temple. And then Hari Vilas Prabhu introduced me to get initiation. And then I was trained, after 1 year, Prabhu, Guru Maharaj gave me initiation, And from that, it was around about how many years, that we initiated? 15 years?
17 years.
17 years now, I was initiated. I was, one of the, at that time when I initiated, people don't take initiation, from Guru Maharaj. And then very few people, But after that, Hari Vilas Prabhu trained them and people start getting initiation, Okay, Hare Krishna ji. Shri Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki.
Actually, please excuse me because I'm not feeling too well, so I really didn't want to say anything, but I saw Maharaj a few years before. Maybe this will help. Hare Krishna Prabhu. I'd seen Maharaj a few years before I took initiation. Maharaj sat down and talked to me and said that you should do more service in the temple. This was his first instruction to me. Maharaj also says, how many times do you come to the temple? And since I live far away, I come only on Sundays. So he says, do you do Mangal Arati? And I said, yeah, I do Mangal Arati at home. And Maharaj's instructions to me were that whatever Mangal Arati things happen at the temple, you should do the same thing at home. So to do that, I have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning because I leave my home at 5. I take a van pool to my work. So I get up at 2 every day to do Mangal Arati. It takes me 3 hours to do all my chanting and my Mangal Arati pujas and stuff like that. Plus I have Shalagram Shila at home, so I have to do puja for Shalagram Shila also. But this was Maharaj's instructions, and this is what I need to do every day. Maharaj also, like Prabhu was saying, that Maharaj remembers everybody. At one time, I took my brother to see him at the Jew temple. I introduced my brother to him, saying, "This is my brother Paresh." And after 7 years, Maharaj asked me, "Where is your brother Paresh? Does he still come to the temple?" It's like, I couldn't believe that he still remembers his name. Not only that he was my brother, but he remembers his name. Maharaj has got an amazing memory. One time we had gone to New Delhi, and Maharaj saw us there and said, "Come to the temple in the evening, I'll call for you." So I sat down in the temple, and it was like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and no call from Maharaj. And I thought, Maharaj maybe has things to do and he may have forgotten, Like 10:30, somebody came from downstairs, came up and said, "Is Brajahari here?" And I said, "Yeah, it's me." He said, "Maharaj is calling for you." So I went down, and Maharaj said, I had not forgotten about you. It was just that I was so busy that I just got some time. And then he asked me to bring my wife down, to his room and, sit down and talk to us for almost half an hour. And the next day he was going to do, the Mangal Arati. Wherever Maharaj goes, he does Mangal Arati every time. He loves to do Mangal Arati. It doesn't matter whether he sleeps at 2 o'clock in the morning, he will get up at 5 and do Mangal Arati. Plus, Maharaj has got his own Shalagram Shila deities. I don't know if any of you have seen them, but he's got a whole bag of deities. And he brings them everywhere he goes, and he puts them up on an altar, and he does the puja of those deities every day. And also he takes a walk, like an hour in the morning, hour in the evening if he can. And lately, because of age, he's starting to slow down. But initially, I couldn't even keep up with him. That's how fast he walks. And he says, you should come to the temple, you should at least once a week. And I take that to heart, and I come every Sunday to do the Tulsi Puja and the Guru Puja. Like Harivilas Prabhu said, there's hardly any other devotees here. Hopefully people will start coming, and we can have a big, nice, round kirtan and do Tulsi Puja and Guru Puja loudly so that everybody, all of Samamish can hear. Okay, I'm going to stop here now. Hare Krishna.
Hello. Thank you very much, everybody, to come here and share with us. And this is our Guru Maharaja's birthday, Vyas Puja. That's how we call. And actually, I know no one to say anything about Maharaj. But all I'm saying, I just want to say that we've been blessed to have Guruji like that. Anytime we had anytime we want to talk to, we could talk to him. Even right now, he was in Russia. I didn't feel good. I was very sick. And he called from there and talked to me. And they said that, just chant Hare Krishna. Just chant Hare Krishna. Don't worry about anything else. don't take any distress. Don't be depressed. Just chant Hare Krishna, you will be all right. My husband was sick. He called. He sent us a video that, his video telling what to do and all that. He was very sick. And one time my son was sick, Manu. He was very, 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 very sick. And doctor said, we don't know what's going to happen. It's just His mercy. We talked to our Maharaj. And my husband has called him, and he was in Russia at that time. And he said, the night time I never pick up the phone, but somehow my heart said, pick up the phone. So he said, don't worry, Manu is going to be all right. He will be okay. It's just, you guys chant. That's all he said. And he said, even I will chant for him. Maybe 1 round or 2 rounds, I will chant for him. So it's just like, I don't know what to say, because we cannot say anything. We cannot even, do any service. We can't do any service. We did when we could, but right now my husband passed away. But I'm really thankful to Krishna that he gave us a guru like that. And all the gurus are good. All the gurus are good. But, because we know him, so that's why I can just say this, that, he's the... You know what I'm saying, you guys. And thank you very much. I cannot say more than this, because I don't have any knowledge. I don't have nothing to say. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. All glories to His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. I am not his disciple, but I was there when he first came to Seattle, so I thought maybe, you would like to hear a little bit about his way of dealing with a really adverse situation. We had nothing. We couldn't pay the rent on the mortgage, pay the mortgage. We had trouble being able to buy boga. There was all kinds of deep concerns. I think in 1982 or so, it was when he first started to come. He was appointed the GBC over this area, and he began to come. And what impressed me so much about Gopal Krishna Maharaj is that he was very, very supportive and told us just depend on the holy name to chant and depend on Krishna, and then everything will work out. Well, me being such a neophyte, I thought that was, how can that be possible? Can't be possible. This place is not gonna be able to stay afloat. We were in trouble. But he kept coming every year, and each year that he came, he gave us that encouragement. Depend on Krishna and keep chanting. Don't stop chanting. And one of the things that always stuck with me that I thought was pretty funny was that people were talking about the difficulty in doing this, keeping engaged, and he said, keep chanting. Between the mouth and the ear is the brain. Sooner or later, you're going to pick up on. I thought that was really funny. But he was telling the truth. The temple that we are sitting in right now, there is some portion of that the credit is to be given to Gopal Krishna Maharaj for it even being here, because he kept coming. He did not stop. and the encouragement was always there. His preaching, his classes were incredible. And it gave us the courage, to keep going, And as a result, in time, with that work and then Maharaja Vyas coming, you see the fruit. But Gopal Krishna Maharaj is definitely a part of this building. Definitely. We survived much because of him and because of Navayogendra Swami. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दं श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं नमामि विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय पुतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. Dear Maharaj, I feel very fortunate to have this opportunity to participate in the most auspicious event of the Vyas Puja celebration of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. I don't have any eligibility to understand or appreciate true substance of a pure devotee whose position is transcendental and is beyond my mundane perceptions and intelligence. But still I am making this feeble attempt to speak about you. You have dedicated your life for spreading Srila Prabhupada's movement. Maharaj, you appeared on this planet on the most auspicious day of Anada Ekadasi, and having named as Gopal Krishna at the time of your appearance, that Srila Prabhupada did not change your name at the time of Harinam initiation. We all very well understand that Srila Prabhupada is so dear to Lord Krishna that his appearance day on this material planet is on the very next day of Janmashtami. Dear Maharaj, you are also so dear to Srila Prabhupada that your appearance just follows few days after Srila Prabhupada. To serve and not to serve is the constitutional position of the Jiva. And you exhibited that already in that platform right from the beginning of your spiritual life. Being your very first interaction with devotees, you inquired if you could render some service for Prabhupada, and you were immediately sent to clean Srila Prabhupada's apartment. In this way, your service attitude for Srila Prabhupada was manifested even before you actually met him. Srila Prabhupada specifically instructed you to print and expand book distribution in India. Till date, today temples that run under your guidance always top on the book distribution score. Few years ago, the publication of the children's Krishna book was stopped, and it was at the same time when I and Sriji Vallavi were looking to purchase a set for our daughter Kavya. After searching many months and places, we were disappointed. But because of your instruction, BBT India started publishing again the Little Krishna book. This shows your intense desire to give the knowledge of Krishna even to the little ones. Thank you, Maharaj. My children, and I am sure all the kids, love reading this book irrespective of their ages. Srila Prabhupada, recognizing your dedicated service and mood of sincere surrender, entrusted you to oversee various important projects such as in Vrindavan, Hyderabad, Mayapur and Mumbai, to name the few. You went and preached to the most difficult parts of the world like Russia when Srila Prabhupada appointed you as the GBC for Russia, and you made several trips to the so-called Soviet Union, a communist state, and risking grave dangers. You preached and distributed books over there. In spite of so many challenges from the communist government and language barrier, you overcame all the challenges by firm determination, like learning the Russian language to preach and please Srila Prabhupada. Even at the age of 73, you still travel extensively for preaching all over the world. In spite of your travel, you attend Mangalarti without fail in most of the temples, sometimes by leading the Mangalarti and sometimes by offering the Arti on the altar, followed by worshipping of your own personal deities as well. When I and Sriji Vallavi first met you, we were still newbies in Krishna consciousness. You asked Sriji Vallavi how many rounds she was chanting. She responded that she only chanted 8 rounds and attributed her inability to chant 16 rounds due to her pregnancy and work. But Your Holiness corrected her perspective by saying that Krishna has kindly blessed you with such a precious gift. In gratitude, you should attempt to chant 16 rounds. Even today, you encourage the newcomers as well as the devotees to stay focused on the basics of Krishna consciousness like chanting, hearing, and reading Srila Prabhupada books, and never compromise on any of the principles set by Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, you being one of the foremost successful sannyasis in ISKCON can be attributed by strong adherence to the basic principles of strong sadhana. All these spiritual activities are just a glimpse of your deep commitment and surrender to Srila Prabhupada, your untiring, dedicated efforts, and your selfless, compassionate nature and inner conviction to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu globally. Dear Maharaj, I pray at your lotus feet to bestow the mercy upon me, so someday I may be able to develop a fraction of these wonderful qualities. Your servant Vrajaraman Das and Sriji Vallavi Devi Dasi. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj ki.
ओम अगन्यातिमरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमामि विष्णुपादाय कृष्णापृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी नाम्ने। Maharaj is very dedicated to the deity service and is a very punctual on the timing. Time is very important. Kala, they call. 3 years ago, Maharaj wanted to come to Mangala Arti. So, in the evening, Maharaj told me to wash the shoes and put the new wash cloth on the car seats. And we get here just 2 minutes later. Maharaj said, "Oh, I'm 2 minutes late. Krishna waiting for me." And Maharaj come here and ask me, "Where is your I can wash my feet?" I said, "Maharaj, we don't have here." So Maharaj come here upstairs and put some water there and go to there in the altar and doing arti. So timing is very important. Where is the timing is going on in mostly in India? In the temple, timing is very, very punctual. So they don't go for the arti, not even 1 minute here and there. Even the lecture going on, stop the lecture and arti starts. That's the mostly big temples or all the maybe in the ISKCON temple, they very following the timing. So Maharaj teach the timing is very, very important following the times. Other things, Maharaj is very careful with the devotees and disciples. Whenever he in the temples, he walking, try to talk or give his association to everyone. So when Maharaj come here in San Francisco or Boise, he called me asking everyone about and how they're doing and they attending the temple program or not. And this time he came and asked me, one of them devotee, is he coming or not? I said, "Maharaj, yeah, he coming sometimes." So he said, "Okay, call him. I want to talk to him." So I called him. He not pick up phone. I left the message. He never returned the calls. So when Maharaj come to Seattle, then he asked me again. "Okay, call him." I called him, but he did not pick up phone. So anyway, point is here, Maharaj is very since he has so much responsibility here and there around the world, but still he's asking everyone. So only he comes once a year in the Seattle. Once a year he come and one or 2 days only just come and still asking everyone how they're doing, and even remember the name too. Other things is Maharaj is he tried to do Mangala Arati. This time actually last year I went to the Boise. So Maharaj stay in the temple there. We go next to the temple, they have guest house. So he do Mangala Arati every day. He was there like 2 nights or 3 nights he was there. I was there 2 nights. So but in this time, Maharaj health is not very good, but still he wake up in the morning, early morning, and start do Mangal Aarti and everything. And following Prabhupada's standard, he go walk every morning. He go walk. Walking very important. Maharaj, wherever he go, he walk. In the any place, at least 1 hour, hour and a half, or he go and for walk there. So that's all I want to say, and we pray to Radha Nil Madhav and all the deities for Maharaj's good health, and so we can have more and more association. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to my Guru Maharaj and His Grace Gopal Hari Vilas Prabhu. हाँ, पहले तो कुछ सेंटेंसेस को कंप्लीट करता हूँ. हाँ, जैसे ओम तत्सत प्रभु ने बताया कि वो एयरपोर्ट से महाराज को लेके जैसे ही रंतीदेव प्रभु के घर पे आए, तो महाराज जी का सबसे पहला आज क्वेश्चन था, रंती देव बहुत तेज, सॉरी, ओम तत्सत प्रभु गाड़ी बहुत तेज चलाते हैं. अब जैसे ब्रज कृपा प्रभु ने कहा कि ब्रजहरि प्रभु ने कहा महाराज वॉक पे बहुत जाते हैं, वॉक पे जाते हैं. तो एक बार जैसे समामेश पार्क के अंदर वॉक कर रहे थे, तो 4 राउंड पूरे हो गए महाराज के. मैंने कहा रंती देव प्रभु साथ में चल रहे थे. मैंने कहा कितने और बाकी? अभी तो शुरुआत हुई है. ड्यूरिंग दिस टाइम जब महाराज से एयरपोर्ट पे मिले, एयरपोर्ट पे मिलते ही महाराज ने सबसे पहले पूछा, मैं यहाँ आता हूँ और आप इंडिया चले जाते हो. मैंने कहा महाराज वो घर में शादी थी. तो महाराज मुस्कुरा के रह गए. तो ये बिल्कुल वही सिचुएशन हुई है जहाँ एक फादर अपने बच्चे से पूछता है और बच्चे ने बड़ा जेन्युइनली उसको एक्सक्यूज कर दिया. द पॉइंट इज सी द लेवल ऑफ रेस्पेक्ट इज, हमेशा सबसे आप करके बात करते हैं. एक बात और, वो भी बीच में वैंकूवर मिलने के लिए गए थे, तो महाराज इतने खुश हुए वैंकूवर में देख के. तो आई थिंक अभी हर साल का वैंकूवर का ट्रिप पक्का हो गया है. हाँ, एप्रिशिएशन की बात है. एप्रिशिएट्स हमेशा सबको, छोटी छोटी चीज़ को भी अप्रिशिएट करते हैं, बहुत अप्रिशिएट करते हैं. हर चीज़ का ध्यान रखते हैं कि हाँ, चिंता भी करते हैं. रंतीदेव प्रभु आप सबको खाना खिला रहे हो, आपने खाया? चिंता करते हैं. बस इतना ही कहूँगा. महाराज जी का एक फ्रेज है, कभी कृष्णा के पास जाके यहाँ ना कहें कि मेरे को बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है. आप उस अपनी प्रॉब्लम के पास जाके कहो कि मेरे पास बहुत बड़ा कृष्णा है.
नेक्स्ट राधे गोपीनाथ प्रभु.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. So I've been hearing from His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj since 2003 when I started coming to this temple. A few key facts about Maharaj. He was born in pre-independence India. All Matajis are sitting very back. Maybe you can come a little closer also. Pre-independence India in 1944. And then he was living in Toronto in May 1968 when he first met with Srila Prabhupada. And he met on 1st June 1968. How many years is that? 49 years. It's a long, long time to be in the movement. So within 2 weeks of meeting Srila Prabhupada, he said, yes, I'm going to take initiation. He was the first Indian disciple, Indian body disciple to take initiation from Srila Prabhupada. In the West, yes, in the West. Yeah, meeting in the West. Thank you, Prabhuji. He married in 1970, and in 11 years he took sannyas. So it's a very good lesson for us grihasthas that you don't stay in marriage too long. Go in and go out. Thank you. I'm glorifying Maharaj. It's nothing to do with me. He is in the GBC for Delhi, Vrindavan, Mumbai at various times, in Mayapur, Chandigarh, Kenya, Canada, parts of North America and Russia. So he has touched the African continent, Asia, North America. So 3 major continents he has had his impact on. And he was the Prabhupada's secretary for several years. 1975, Srila Prabhupada sent Maharaj to India, giving him responsibility for being the governing body commissioner. So look at the sequence of events. From 44, he met Srila Prabhupada in 68, and then he moved to the temple in May 68. He got married, went into the Grihastha ashram. 81, he took sannyas. 82 came to Seattle, right? 1982, yeah. So 1 year after taking sannyas. So Seattle is a very important place for Maharaj. He keeps coming regularly. I'm amazed that at his age he travels every year. I see him every year here in the temple. Every year. Without fail. And I saw him once, came for Mangalarti, he was actually doing the Arti for the deities. That is fairly amazing because after all the travel, he just gets onto the altar and actually serves the deities. And he is, 10 or 11 or 12 temples in Delhi, city of Delhi. That's what his secretary was once saying. So he was doing fundraising for one of the temple. He goes to one person, says, आपको तो कम से कम 2 लाख देना चाहिए. And the person said, मजाक क्यों कर रहे महाराज, 10 लाख लीजिए. So that day he raised 1 crore rupees for the local temple. One day, 1 crore. So he's very amazing at temple fundraising. I know Harulas Prabhu recently raised $180,000 in one day. So that is very amazing too for our Seattle history. And he recently gave sannyas to 2 of his disciples. One was ISKCON Vrindavan Temple President, I believe, Janardhan Prabhu, and then Vaishnava Prabhu. So he is already cultivating the next generation, so that 2 more sannyasis have been offered at the feet of Srila Prabhupada to continue this movement. So I get to travel a lot and I see a lot of temples, and His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaja's influence is tremendous across the world. And so it's not just sufficient to glorify him, we should also try to imbibe some of those qualities, so that somebody said earlier to me that each one of us, Harulas Prabhu said that each one of us has the potential to become like him, but we are just holding ourselves back, so we should not try to hold ourselves back. And I will take Harulas Prabhu's instruction also. What are you waiting for? Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Have any names anymore, so anybody would like to glorify Maharaj, you are most welcome. Or after that we can start the Puspanjali and Aarti then.
comment. I had the honor to meet Maharaj for the first time, I believe in 2014. Like Prabhu said, he comes here every year, and I was very new to Krishna consciousness at the time, and I came here to the temple and I saw Maharaj seated here, and I had just started chanting, and I had come to about 8 rounds at the time. So, Maharaj was giving prasad to everybody. He likes to distribute sweets, so he was giving prasad, so I was in line, and I got prasad, and he looked at me, and he just asked point blank, how many rounds are you chanting? And I said, I'm chanting 8 rounds, Maharaj. And just like Harivalas Prabhu just asked Radhika Gopinath Prabhu, he asked me, what are you waiting for? Why are you not chanting your 16 rounds? And he said, you should chant, you should increase to 16 rounds. And pretty soon, within few months after that, due to Guru and Krishna's mercy, I was able to start 16 rounds. So I just wanted to mention that. Haribol.
One is the side. Yeah, sure.
ठीक है. ओम अगण्यतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति सपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं साधुभूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखावितंश्च. नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नामने. श्री वर्ष भानुवी देवी दायते कृपा दे कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने पर्ववे नमः. माधुरोज्वला प्रेमादा श्री रूपानुगा भक्तिदा श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्तुते. नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्री मूर्ताय दीनतारिणे रूपानुगा विरुद्धप्पा सिद्धंताद्वंत हरिणे. नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैज्ञ मूर्ते विपरलंबार संबोधे पादां भोजाय ते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामने गौर शक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगावराय ते गौराविर्भाव भूमेस्त्वं निर्देशता सजना प्रिया वैष्णव सर्वभौमा श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्नाय कृष्णा प्रेमा प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतवीसे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नामने भक्त सात्विकं। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते। जायतं सूर्तो पंगोर माम मंदा मतेर्गति मत सर्वस्व पादां भोज राधा मदन मोहनो दिव्यायाद वृंदारण्य कल्पा द्रुमदा श्रीमत रत्नागारा सिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद राधा श्रीला गोविंदो देव प्रश्लाभि समानु सम्रामी श्रीमान रासरसारंभी वंशीवत्ततस्थिता कृष्ण वेणु सबनेर गोपीर गोपीनाथ श्रेष्ठो न तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वर्षभानुस्ते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णा पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते गोपाल कृष्णा गोस्वामिनिति नामने। ऐसा पुष्पांजलि कृष्णा हरे हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे हरे